Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vettel, Ceci, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode 350, and technically Summer Series Part 4. Thank you, Ceci. Thank you. And we are going to be talking about opportunities that we are giving our daughters that, we technically didn't have in a sense. So giving our daughters opportunities we never had. And I'll share a little bit of how that came about. But before we go in to talk about this topic for our summer series, how are you ladies doing? ¿Cómo se encuentran hoy?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Good. We're like our own IT over here. I love it. We're always troubleshooting our own issues.
Love it.
I'm putting lipstick on or lip gloss on. That's why I sound like I'm distant, not because I broke something else over here.
It's all good. No, enough of breaking things, except generational cycles.
Yeah, right. Except generational opportunities.
Yes. But so I had kind of mentioned in the last podcast how I kind of gave myself a little time to watch America's Sweethearts, the DCC, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I love that show. Just because I think when I was younger, I wanted to be a dancer and I want to be an actress and I want to do all these things. And I never really got around to doing that, right? But I was watching America's Sweethearts about like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and I noticed that there were like not one single Latina has come out. Maybe they have been tried out, but they don't make it to the show or something. And I haven't recognized like a Latina name or a Hispanic name or anything that sounds anything close to it. But there's a lot, it just seemed that maybe competitive dancing is just not an area where we've been in yet or kind of made our way in. And the only thing is that with DCC, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, they have like a unique program. So everyone knows that there's nothing like a DCC, right? There's nothing like the DCC. They have their own style. They're like these amazing cheerleaders. And I used to be a Cowboy fan. I'm no longer a Cowboys fan. But I loved always seeing the cheerleaders. It just looks so great. And they're historically amazing. So I feel that a lot of these women that have gone through this program have been involved in dance and competitive dancing. And cheer is also something that's an expensive sport, right? Time consuming and money, all that good stuff. So I was looking at it, I'm like, there's no Latinas in there. I'm like, that's crazy to me, right? And I think, like I said, because I wanted to be a dancer, I knew that I wanted to give my daughter that opportunity to go to dance class and do all that. And I got really emotional for her first performance. It was like almost 3 years ago. And seeing her on stage, just being on stage, and it's a full production and she's dancing her little dances and, with the beat, I cried. I thought it was so freaking cool that she got to do this, I got to be on stage. But, I started thinking about the things that we have done for our girls, right? Irene has shared before in the podcast how Sophie is in theater, and theater is not something that we normally kind of go into, right? That it's something it's like they're expensive hobbies, you could say, right? Quote unquote activities, and they're time consuming, and they're not the typical thing of like, vete a jugar soccer on the street with the neighbors, because you only need something that looks like a ball, right? But they're activities that take time and so much effort, and it's not just your child, but it's you as well. So I wanted to talk about that today. Ceci, you with your girls singing, piano, like they do all these great stuff, right? And that is also an investment, but we're in a different place than our parents were. So could you ladies kind of go into a little bit more of the extracurricular activities you did when you were younger, and then how you've kind of moved your kids towards the activities they're currently in now, or supported the activities they're requesting, like asking to be a part of?
For me, I did anything that was free at school. We were products of the public school system. Pero yo me acuerdo que I did like basketball 1 or 2 years, and we didn't have to pay anything. I don't remember my parents having to pay anything, at least. And then the other thing that I did, I played the violin in 4th grade. No me acuerdo de nada, so don't ask. And then I would ride my bike around the neighborhood, and go to the park, and that's pretty much it. No, mentira. I did maybe 2 seasons. I bailé en el ballet folclórico de nuestra iglesia, San Joaquín. I do remember my mom paying me like a monthly, pero no era mucho, because again, it was part of la iglesia, and then we would perform at like Las Posadas and El Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe. So I think I did that 1 or 2 years, and then my brother and my sister also did it as well. But that was it, and I guess that was something that I really wanted to do, but also my mom could afford it. My parents could afford it. It was something that was reasonable. Fast forward to now, it's funny because I would want my daughters to do the ballet folclórico, but I haven't found anything nearby, and I'm all about convenience now with their activities. So yes, I want them to do X, Y, and Z, but convenient for me to take them, like I like things that are close by here. So they are in piano now, and they are in singing lessons. Samantha is in singing lessons, and Paula in piano, but that's something that they do through the Conservatory of Music, through their school and the church and all that. So that's also within the same not the same building, pero ahí todo juntito, and volleyball. So anyway, I'm saying all this because in camps too, I mean, there wasn't any camps. I mean, I guess there was camps when we were growing up, but my parents didn't know about it. My parents definitely didn't have the resources to put us in camps. And so now it's like something that I'm exploring and doing from the beginning of the year to make sure, like, hey, I'm getting them into good camps, good, affordable, because there's like unas camps que están carísimas. I'm like, hell no. Like, I remember one year one of them wanted to do cooking, and it was like something outrageous, like $800 la semana, and it was like way out of my way. It was over there by like Pier 39, like acá, like no, I'm like no. So again, investing the time and the resources in something that they're gonna do. So that's the difference. It's like, I want them to explore their interests, and I want them to be doing things that they enjoy, within our means, for sure. But comparado at what we were doing growing up, I mean, a mí se me hace muy bonito, y también como like, oh wow, if I think about it, se me hace como un lujo. Oh my God, estas niñas tomando theater, Irene, or el piano, acá las niñas, canto, dancing competitions, like nada que ver con us,
Yeah, for sure. Not how we grew up. I got to do like a ballet class a couple years, maybe even only 1 year, at the Parks and Rec at the local park. My brother did Little League for many years, and I didn't like it because I didn't like the way I had to dress. But my mom wanted to do something different for me. We didn't get to do anything like that for my older sister at all. She didn't get to participate in things like that, different times. She was a lot older than me. They really couldn't afford even just the Parks and Recs fees or the time to do that. They had to work so hard. So I did a little bit of that, but I then became like a cheerleader in high school. My mom supported that. It wasn't expensive to be a cheerleader at my high school, as it was, I'm sure, in other communities. We had a lot, I'm sure, subsidized. And there were times where my mom would complain, where we were expected to buy certain things, but it was Inglewood High, baby. Like, it wasn't that expensive, and we looked cool, and we loved it. It was a little ghetto, some years ghettoer than others, and we didn't have the top of the line stuff. In other years we did. I don't know how the heck we were affording it, but we did. But I think greater minds, like, people help you when you're in the inner city, and they support you. And I'm so grateful to be a product of those supports and those resources, so I could be a cheerleader. For my daughter, we have supported whatever she wants to do. We have supported her ability to go into something completely different than any of us thought she would go into. My husband thought that she would play soccer like the boys and wanted her to do that for a really long time, and she resisted. She would cry when he would talk about setting her up for AYSO. She had no idea what it was like, but she did not want to do it. And so she tried dance, and she tried ballet, and we were very close to putting her into competitive, like, cheerleading. We had a heart-to-heart with her when she was a 6th grader, and we said, we will spend whatever. If you go all in, we will spend whatever it takes, the money we don't have. So very different than how I was brought up. And I'm sure that Diego and I were like, we don't know how we're going to afford this, but if she's going to go all in, she's got our support. And we told all the kids, pick something. And I don't remember what the boys picked, but they clearly didn't go all in because they're not doing it. They stopped doing it. My daughter picked musical theater. We took her to one of the best for her age in Manhattan Beach. We live very close, so it worked out. She had friends from school there. She went with it and ran with it. So she does it in high school. It's one of the best theater programs in the state. one of the best sports schools in the state. Purposely want the kids to be able to have access to sports if they want them. She don't want it. She wants to do theater all day, every day. She loves it. Super proud of her. Super happy that we can create this opportunity for her. So she's a dancer, a singer, an actress, because that's what musical theater is. She gets to go to musical theater shows. She was just in New York. We got to see a couple of shows there. She has a very different life. A very different life. And my husband and I have worked very, very hard to say yes to those things. She doesn't have to be the best. She doesn't have to be number one. We're not necessarily tiger parents. We don't drop everything for her to be like traveling for theater, for instance. We don't pay thousands and the big bucks for her to have like one-on-one coaches, which is kids who really want to go into musical theater professionally. They do have that. So it's within balance and within means. But if she wanted to do something like that, my husband has made the offer. We wanted to take one route, one of three things: dance, singing, or acting. One thing recently that came up that I do a lot for my kids is when they were growing up, I didn't care what it cost. If they wanted academic things, I never said no. So I was like, if they were to figure me out, they would pick that educational puzzle, even if it's $150, because I'm gonna buy it. Like, I was one of those people that they didn't know that I had this rule with myself that I didn't care what it cost if it was educational. So for books, I've never said no. For courses, I've never said no. And the other day, my daughter asked about this class my son got to take at UCLA when he was a sophomore. She's keeping notes, she's watching, and she's like, didn't he take this cool like class where he lived on the campus? And I'm like, yeah, he actually did that as a sophomore. She's like, I want to do that. Why haven't I done that? And then I'm scrambling, trying to figure it out. We've missed all these deadlines. It doesn't work with our travel schedule. I'm like, what am I going to do? I find this class randomly, Ceci, by you, UC Berkeley, 9 days, 5K. And Diego and I were like, for 9 days? Like, we paid, I think, like just over 4K for Isaiah to do it for 3 weeks.
Berkeley.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, 9 days? Weekends? Like, she's going to go to class 7 of the days? So in the end, we were like, no, absolutely not. So again, within means. But now we're on the mission that I said, okay, you will not do it sophomore year, but you will do it junior year. Like, I do feel I want to keep balance with the kids, and I want her to live on a college campus. Isaiah talks about it all the time, and he loved it, and he loved being at UCLA and Westwood, and he felt independent and being in classes. It like made him want to move away to college. Like, he wouldn't have picked leaving if he hadn't had that extracurricular experience. Cost thousands, but he got to live in this dorm. But they keep tabs, and they want to do it too, but we're also not saying yes to everything. We have a little bit of our parents in us. Tampoco no todo. No te vamos a chiquear y no se puede. And that's just, I don't see the value in that, homegirl. Like, that's like 2 vacations for mama to take on the cheap side. Yeah. I'm going to try to take me to Cabo instead. So we balance it out, guys. We balance it out. A little bit of them, a little bit of us. And some things are not reasonable and other things are. So it really does depend, Ceci, como le entramos. But it's very different than how we were brought up. Very different.
Yeah,
I'm not telling Ceci and Vero's the moderator.
I know. I know.
I see Ceci's
I guess.
face.
Ceci, can you tell her that I'm right here?
Just I was like, es un chingo por los 9 días. Because I was like, it's un
That's a lot of
chingo.
money.
I was like, you're staying with Tia Ceci and you're not going to
Yes,
on
que
campus.
se venga.
You have to make your own meals, you know. Girl, I mean, Ceci, same thing. It was everything that was free, I would sign up. And I only did activities at school. If I went along to the park when my brother played baseball, then I would play along on the sidelines, you know, but it was never where my parents, they were like, oh yeah, let's take you to dance or let's take you to this. They did pick up on me wanting to be an actress, and I kind of made them sign me up to these acting classes, right? But the drive was really far, and it was on Sundays. And on Sundays, my dad was like, okay, if you really want to do this, we'll spend the money. And he would have me write out the check to pay my tuition, you know, and pay for this program. But then I started noticing, like, I went through my dad's like checkbook, and my sister would balance it for him because she used to work at a bank, and I could see what his totals were, right, on this checkbook and his balance. And I'm like, is that all he has in the bank account? And this is what this class costs. And I started putting it together, and I was like, that's so not cool to me. And I was young, and this is really what I wanted to do, but I felt that wasn't fair, you know? And I stopped going to those classes. But then I took advantage of the free classes when I got to Santa Barbara. You know, I did the improv team, and I did certain things, and I took a drama class just in case. But it was all about the free stuff, whatever was free. And we had some really wise neighbors. They had 9 kids, so they knew about all the free programs. So through them, they'd be like, hey, just so you know, we're going to start this summer camp if you want to join us next week. And my mom would be like, okay, because she trusted them. You know, the gente, los papás eran, they were super strict. So my mom would have just let me go with anyone. But they're like, oh, no, Don Quintin, he spanks. He beats. You can go, you know. But they've always found, like, the toy drives, the camps for free, like, all this cool stuff for their kids to do, because to make it affordable, wherever it was gratis. But yeah, I played basketball in high school, and that was pretty much it. Like, I played basketball since 4th grade all the way through high school. And that was because I didn't have to leave the campus. No one had to drive me anywhere. My mom didn't drive. My dad worked. And no one can really take me. So it was like, what's easy, what's convenient, and what's not going to cost us a lot of money, you know? But that's, I wanted to check in also if you're listening to the podcast, because I had mentioned there's no Latinas on the DCC squad. There have been significant DCC squad members, and Irene was making sure, she's like, hey, Vero, there are some out there. So she sent me, a little list, but they haven't been, there's been a few. I think there's one that's on the list, Irene, that you put on there that I quickly Googled, but she hasn't been highlighted in the show. So this show is not really highlighting these women. But,
more to your point, why not? Yeah, why not?
More to yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, why? But awesome. There are Latinas representing on that squad. There's amazing dancers out there. I'm really happy that my daughter's part of this dance group. She just asked if she could potentially try out, audition for the company. And I don't think I can commit to the level of, not financially, but the level of commitment that comes with being part of the company and competitions and this, that, and the other. Like, it's just, it's going to be impossible. So I'm going to ask her to hold off on that till she's a little older and like really figures out if that's what she wants to do. Because it's a lot. It's time consuming. It's money, but it's worth it. These girls build confidence, right? These girls are doing activities that we didn't get to do. And it's not because we're like want to raise prodigies, but we're just like, let's expose them to this other cool stuff that's there and available. And it builds their confidence. It teaches them to do things that are hard, right? That I'm not like Ceci, I'm sure you're like, I'm not a piano player, but I want my kids to play the piano. Or you want to sing? Pues ándale, canto yo, pero no canto, you're going to get actual training, So it's really, really nice. The things that our daughters will be learning, right? Discipline, teamwork, resilience, friendships, trying something new. So with that, if I think I'm going to leave this out there for our team, for the, because we're wrapping up this podcast, but I'm going to leave it out there for our audience and for you ladies if you want to answer later. We're going to close with this question. What's one thing you're intentionally changing for the next generation? Okay. And in this case, it could be by activities, by whatever, but like in this case, what are you intentionally changing? Not because we're trying to raise prodigies, like I said, or anything like that, but what are you intentionally changing for our kids? So we'll leave you with that. You can always drop it on the notes. You can always, not the notes, I'm sorry, in the comments of our podcast when it does drop. We'll leave the question there. Thank you for tuning in with us again for this part 4 of the summer series of 2026. We thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for the next one. Follow us at Level Up Latina on Instagram. You know where to find us at leveluplatina.com. Join our guilt-free squad. Reach out if you need anything. And if you have any ideas for continue the conversation on different topics, send it over to admin@leveluplatina.com.